Yo, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, inside the Lunchbox freestyle. It's going down, and the winner goes to...
Oh, Kendrick won that hands down. It wasn't even a contest.
Hey,
He didn't even break no sweat.
Didn't break a sweat, man. Didn't break a sweat at all.
If I had money, I would have won that bet.
Welcome back to Inside the Lunchbox. This is your boy, Chef Mac, and once again, I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, the only Levi Leviticus.
Yeah, come and find out I'm the only Levi in the Food Network podcasting industry, the one and only. None can stand with me.
There you go, man.
As one person once said, "Screw the big three, it's just the big me." Actually,
yeah. There you go, man. So, how was your week, man? Well, first of all, welcome back, man.
That was my month. I've been gone well over a month around here.
How was your month? How was your week?
Oh well, yeah, I was out of town for a couple of weeks, and then I got back, and then a tree hit my house, and I had to move, and
wow.
Yeah, it's been pretty busy in my life lately. But while this is happening, hip hop exploded like I've never seen it before, and I'm just listening to one awesome diss track after another. It's great. I've been a big Kendrick Lamar fan for years.
Nice.
But I don't recall him ever being in a rap battle before. So he just came in, just laid the law down. Set the new high gold star standard for what diss tracks should be. I mean, he's the king of rap.
Yes. And look, so Kendrick Lamar, he used to do the freestyle thing when he was back in California when he was not signed. He was notorious for freestyle battles. Shout out to the West Coast. You guys doing it big. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar, Drake. You might want to go back to Canada, buddy.
Oh, and Drake, you might want to stay out of public for a little bit. I'm just saying. That was, it wasn't even close.
So today we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about some great tasting crawfish. At least I think it's great tasting. I don't know what Levi thinks about crawfish. I don't know.
I mean, I was raised in New Mexico, so there's not a whole lot of crawfish industry out there. So when I first moved to Texas, and I'm like 13, 14 years old, and all the neighbors in the block are like, want to have a big block party and have some crawfish. I'm thinking, like, are they like lobsters or something? I don't know what a crawfish is. And then I go up there, and they're like, oh, yeah, see this big, ugly bug right here? You rip the head off of it, suck the brains out the head, peel the back of it, rip the back out, eat it, but don't eat the poop. And I'm like, why is there poop in my food? I was rather traumatized as a young man.
You do all that work for less than a half an ounce of meat.
Good grief. So
as you can see, people, Levi is not a Mudbug fan.
Not a huge Mudbug fan. I've had it several times since. I have to say, right after I got back in town, my girlfriend's boss was throwing like this big crawfish thing. It was on NFL draft day. So I actually got to go there and have some really well-cooked, really well-made crawfish. And it was actually good. I hadn't had it in years. This was after my stint in the Navy. So I'm used to fish food by now. I'm used to the smell. New Mexico doesn't have a whole lot of water, let alone lakes, let alone oceans, let alone anything. We have like one dirty little river that comes down the middle of the state. And that's all the water we have.
So there's no crawfish in?
No, there's no fresh caught fish. There's nothing. It's hundreds of miles of desert in all directions of New Mexico.
But y'all had like big spiders though, right? Like tarantulas.
Yeah. If you live near the volcanoes, because we have volcanoes there. But anyways, so after serving in the Navy and after not having crawfish for a bit, I got reintroduced to it this year. I actually kind of enjoyed it. I went back for seconds, had a good time. I was actually texting you draft predictions during draft day because of the number of offensive linemen getting drafted in the first round.
That was crazy. It was definitely a weird draft season for me.
Yeah. And then I got taken to this crawfish boil this weekend, actually Friday night, and I'm back on my hate train of crawfish. That stuff was not good at all, not even close.
So what he's talking about, Crawfish Critic here in Montgomery County, Texas, they had their 5th annual crawfish cook-off, and Levi found out that he really despises crawfish.
No, it was fine. It was just a little overboiled, a little overcooked, a little hard to peel it apart. But in their defense, Crawfish Critic got hit by a tornado.
Yes, they did.
Thursday night. So it's been a wild couple weeks here in Texas. We've had the dam had to be released because of heavy floods 2 weeks ago. bunch of places got flooded, and then a week later we have hail and tornadoes hitting Houston.
Yes,
it's been wild. It's been a wild couple weeks.
Yes, I just hope everybody's been safe out there, and it's definitely been rough out here in Houston in the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
So on Thursday, I actually went to the festival, the 5th annual crawfish cook-off on Friday, and it was just a complete disaster, man.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It was stuff everywhere. But the crawfish critic went online and he asked for help in the community.
Yeah.
And 100 people that came together and they teamed up and they got this thing done. They got the whole setup ready to go. They opened up at 5:00, and these people put in some hard work to get this festival going. But at the end of the day, people came out.
Yeah.
They had fun. They
had some good music.
They had some really good music.
Yeah.
It was food galore. Any type of Cajun style food that you want, they had.
Yeah. So while I was there was a food truck there that was serving Cajun style quesadillas. And
nice.
That was something I'd never even heard of, so I tried it. It was really good. There were also food trucks out there, like their special corn recipes and stuff that they were selling that you could just get off the food truck. So, I mean, to be fair, like they did a good job. It was a great festival. By the time I got there, because I worked that day up until after 5. But by the time I got there, it was all cleaned up. They had all their tents set back up. They had the music going. They had people out there having a good time. So, I hope they did well, and I hope that they come back next year and do it all over again.
Yeah, they did. They did really well. The people came together as a community, and they pulled it off. I got the chance to eat some of the crawfish there, and it was really, really tasty. And I had something for the first time there. It was actually like potatoes.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't really a mashed potato. It was mashed potatoes, but they had chunks of potatoes in it. Mm-hmm. But it also had like bacon, and it was a Cajun style like mashed potato with chunks of potato. It wasn't all the way mashed. And you could tell it had like Cajun seasoning, and it had like bits and pieces of crawfish. And I want to say it was like some sausage and stuff in it. Oh, whoever made that, oh my God, they made that with love because it was really tasty.
Yeah.
And then they gave us some shrimp and some shrimp cocktail. But the shrimp cocktail had like chopped jalapenos in it. And I want to say they put Cajun seasoning and some Cajun love into that too as well. And it went perfect with the shrimp that we had. But I didn't understand the tamale they gave me with it. They gave me Cajun style food and then one tamale. It wasn't like at least I don't think it was a crawfish tamale.
I mean,
I didn't care for the tamale, but the shrimp and the potatoes were good.
Yeah, we were there at different times because by the time I got there, you had already left. So I can't even think of the food truck you must have been at for that.
Yeah.
Or was that down in the front?
That was down in the front in the VIP.
Oh.
Yeah, we had
VIP.
so we had
So
the Wisson Network. Shout out to Byron Davenport and the Wisson Network and the Wilito Show. We actually had VIP and we were doing the whole media there. So we actually have a video coming out real soon with the Crawfish Critic, and hopefully they'll like it.
Yeah, hopefully they will. Yeah.
So, like I said, the food to me was okay. I got the chance to eat a lot of different styles of crawfish and some boudin sausages, and I also took my drone out there and I flew the drone around. And the people there were amazing, man. They were loving, they were kind, they were very respectful.
Well, that's Texas people for you.
Yeah.
In the last, I would say 2 or 3 weeks since I've been back. I've been at like 4 or 5 different functions, whether it was the cook-off that was a fundraiser for students here in Montgomery County, and they had like this big fundraiser where they had like all this food and they had like all these cakes they were auctioning off, and they must have raised something along the lines of like $20,000-$30,000.
Oh, nice.
For students.
Nice.
And everybody was loving, but then they were like just basically giving the cakes away, right? So like the different tents out there were buying up all the cakes and during the auction because they want those auction numbers to be really nice and high for the students. But then afterwards, they're stuck with like $7,000, $4,000, $5,000 cakes.
Oh, wow.
And so my girlfriend asked me, she's like, which one do you want to take? Because I had to help carry the cakes over. I'm like, I'm not dropping a $4,000 cake. Now, I guarantee you, this cake did not cost $4,000 to make. Yeah. That's what it sold at auction to help the students.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But then like we ended up taking like 2 or 3 cakes home, and we're eating like real, and not get me wrong, these were really good cakes. Like these were like homemade recipe Oreo baked in cakes. They were just
that sounds good. Oh my god,
absolutely amazing. But the atmosphere was just great. Like everybody's out there just loving on each other. And then right after that, you had the biggest Texas music festival, which I was invited to again. So I got to go there, have a good time. A couple, I don't remember the name of the band off the top of my head, but they did a great job. And this is, again, during these events, we're getting drenched in rain.
Yes.
We're getting drenched in hail.
Yes.
Trees are being knocked over. The tree near my house got knocked over. But then we're all coming out on these weekend events, whether it's a crawfish boil or whether it's a music festival or whether it's a fundraiser for students. Yeah. And we're just out here having a good time. That's what I love about Texas.
That's what we do here in Texas, baby. Let's go. We do that. We love Texans. We love each other.
Yeah.
So we may fight and we may argue, but
that's normal in a family. But like Montgomery County Texans really pulled together and did a good job. Yeah. And I'm just happy to be here and be part of it.
Yes, we definitely have some great people here. But shout out to the Crawfish Critic. On Saturday, he actually had to shut down early because somebody decided to say, hey, we're going to go ahead and dump the rest of the water. So they did open up the dam around 5:30.
Dang.
Well, they told them that they had to leave. So they shut down early. The last performance didn't get the chance to perform. But at the end of the day, they did a great job. They're going to come out next year bigger, better than ever. They still had about 22 bags of crawfish left over after that.
Good grief.
So what they did is they went down to the I think it's the Flying J pub, and they tried to sell the remaining other bags. So it was $4 a pound for crawfish, and they had $2 beers just to help get rid of all the crawfish and the beer that they had. And I think they're doing it again tonight, which is a Sunday, which is today's the 19th, right? So by the time this podcast comes out tomorrow, the crawfish is going to be gone, the beer is going to be gone. Sorry, folks, but they did have an after party, so they did their thing. Shout out to the Crawfish Critic, man. You are awesome, bro. And thank you for doing that for the community. And once again, thank the community for helping the Crawfish Critic succeed in everything that he did. So
crawfish, does it count as seafood?
So my honest opinion is that no.
Why not?
Because it's in the name. Crawfish doesn't come from the sea.
Right.
So it's not seafood.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
So how would you sell it?
How would I sell it? Crawfish, mudbugs.
Mudbugs. So we're never expanding outside of East Texas,
freshwater
fish. Freshwater fish. Okay. All right. I'll take freshwater fish.
I mean, but
they're not fish.
But they're not. They're not. But if they consider it seafood because it lives in the water. But to me, seafood is in the name. Seafood. It didn't come from the sea, and it's not salty.
Yeah, but sea is not like a clearly defined term. Like sea does not necessarily mean salt.
When I see sea, I see salt.
Sure. You ever been up to Lake Michigan?
Well, Lake Michigan doesn't count.
Oh.
Actually, it does count. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's seafood?
I think I would classify it as such because I don't think seafood specifically means saltwater food or freshwater. I think it just basically means food that comes out of the water. Right. Okay. I would classify it as seafood.
Yeah.
Even if it is mostly raised on freshwater farms.
Okay. I guess. It's still seafood, I guess. When you go to a restaurant and you order seafood, it's going to be on the seafood menu.
Sure.
But me personally, I don't think mudbugs, like any type of freshwater creature, doesn't come from the sea, is freshwater fish.
Freshwater fish, okay.
Yeah.
That works. So here's another question, right? What goes with crawfish? When you boil it, right, a good crawfish has several different ingredients that get boiled along with it and served with it, right?
Yes. So first thing first, beer goes well with crawfish. You got to have a good, nice cold beer. Stay away from the Bud Light. Disclaimer: stay away from the Bud Light and the Coors. I'm not a Bud Light or a Coors person. I think they're horrible beers. I don't think they go well with anything. But any other beer, I think goes well with crawfish.
Right.
I actually cook my crawfish with my recipe. Mm-hmm. I actually get the cheapest beer and I cook my crawfish in beer.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Yep. I go buy the cheapest beer and I'll get some chicken stock, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I put a couple slices of oranges and onions and the Cajun seasoning in there and a little bit other corn and salt and deli sausages and stuff like that. And maybe some orange juice or pineapple juice. I put it in there.
Mm. And, that sounds good. No potatoes?
Potatoes, yes. Potatoes go in there. And
red potatoes or no?
Ooh, I got to do the red potatoes.
Yeah.
I got to do the red potatoes.
Okay.
And then I put a crap load of butter in there. Ooh. And there's a reason for the butter. Do you know the reason for the butter?
Because it's going to taste good on that corn.
It tastes really good, but you know it helps the crawfish when you peel the tail off. Mm-hmm. It helps with the meat sliding out of the shell.
Oh, that actually makes sense. Yeah. Yep.
So you could tell if you go to a crawfish boil and you have a problem pulling the meat out of the shell, they probably didn't put enough butter in there,
right? Or
enough some type of oil.
Yeah.
So that's how you know that they're probably not from Louisiana or Texas.
Yeah.
Trying to cook some crawfish. But I can say that Louisiana, you guys hold it down. You guys do have the best crawfish. Then Texas is second. Nobody else does it better than Texas besides Louisiana with the crawfish.
You know what's weird is I lived in Florida for like 4 or 5 years, right on the ocean. Mm-hmm. Right, you could literally, a couple blocks from the ocean is where I lived and where I was stationed when I was in the Navy. Never had crawfish the entire time I was there.
Really?
Nobody was having crawfish boils. I think it's like just a Texas Louisiana thing.
You know why?
Why is that?
Because Florida is next to the sea and it's seafood.
Right.
We have a whole bunch of bayous in Texas and Louisiana.
They have bayous.
No, they have swamps.
Well, okay. I'm not going to argue the point with you. But you know what they serve as seafood in Florida?
What's that?
Gator. Have you ever had gator?
I can't. That's one thing I would not try is gator.
Wait, have we not talked about gator on this show?
Yeah, we talk about gator and frog legs. And I despise frog legs, and gators is next.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on the frog legs, but have you ever had gator?
No.
Then how do you know?
Because it's a reptile, and I don't like reptiles.
It's a reptile. So you wouldn't eat snake either?
I have tried snake, and I won't eat it again.
Oh, okay. Well, if you've tried it, I'm not going to argue with you if you've tried it.
So reptiles is just, so you know how when you cook pork, they tell you that you have to cook pork all the way through, right?
Sure.
So with reptiles, you have to do that all the way through.
Sure.
Reptile is actually is actually worse than pork. Like you have to cook that all the way through because reptiles will get you sick.
Oh yeah.
And I just stay away from the alligators. They can stay in their swamp and their bayous or wherever they're at. Yeah. And I mean, but I heard there's a good place right down the street from me that actually sells some great gator balls. If you like gator balls.
Oh no, we're not going with the balls again. No, I'm good. I don't eat guts. That's a gut. No, we used to get gator tacos.
Gator tacos?
In Florida all the time. That really good eating. Good eating.
I would try it just to say that I've tried it because I tried every other thing. So yes, I would try a gator, but not frog legs.
No,
not the frog. I'm good on the frog legs. I've been traumatized since I was a kid.
Frogs aren't reptiles; they're amphibians. I don't eat amphibians. We're good on that.
Yeah. So amphibian and reptiles I don't eat them. I stay away from them.
Yeah.
So
frogs are half bugs, anyways.
They are.
Yeah. Oh. If you think about where they come from, little eggs, then they become little weird-looking tadpole thingies, and they become frogs. Like that's half bug to me. You're already half bug to me.
So this is a true story. When I was a kid, we were going over tadpoles and learning about frogs and stuff like that. And I wasn't the best kid in class. I wasn't the class clown, but I used to get the class rowdy a couple of times. So our science teacher was going over frogs and tadpoles and stuff, and we were taking like a open discussion test. And she's like, "What are these things?" And I said, "Sperm." Yeah, I did. I ended up getting detention for like 3 days for that. I was like, they look like tadpoles look like little engines that could.
No. I mean, they do look like that, but I don't know.
Dude,
I don't know why a 10-year-old. I don't know why a 10-year-old.
Because I was horrible. I was a horrible kid in school. I ain't gonna lie. I was bad.
Yeah.
But
I had to help. I had to help my girlfriend's son out with his homework, and it was about the different stages of development of different animals and stuff. And the frogs were on there, and I had to help help him see the whole picture of like this one goes through all 4 stages. This one.
Yeah, man, that curry was it was pretty good, man. I put potatoes in it. I had carrots, of course, the curry seasoning.
You also put a jalapeno in it.
Put a jalapeno in there. So when you make curry chicken, you're supposed to use Scotch bonnet, but they didn't have Scotch bonnet at the local store. So I got a jalapeno and I just threw it in there. I cut it and threw it in there, and actually I de-seeded it. And Levi told me next time I need the seeds in there.
Well, I'm from New Mexico. I like my food a little on the spicy side.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's a little too spicy for most Texans,
Yes.
but that's fine. I learned a lot with that cooking video because I was able to help you, cut the potatoes, dice the onions, watch you prep it, watch you take a whole giant, pan, just put it in your oven.
Yeah, that blew his mind.
Blew my mind because I did not know you could take pots that are on top of the stove and put them inside the oven itself.
Yeah.
But apparently, if they're 100% like steel or whatever, you can.
So when you're doing that, you got to make sure you have the right pots and pans.
Right.
And I actually did a podcast on that while you were on vacation. You got to make sure the gauge is correct. So what I did was I started the rice on top of the stove, and then I finished the rice in the oven. And when I put it in the oven, Levi looked at me like, "Wait, what are you doing?" It blew his mind that I cooked rice in the oven after I started it on top of it.
Right. Yeah. It was mostly the whole. Because you said you were going to put the rice in the oven. You were explaining to me like all about the rice and how it's going to open up and all this stuff. Yeah. I forget the term that it was called. I learned a lot.
Bloom.
Yeah, the rice was going to bloom, but then he just grabs the whole pot off the top of the stove, something we've been boiling water in, and just stuffs it in the oven. I'm just like, okay. I thought the rice was going to go into like an oven safe pan or something, and then that would go in the oven. Oh no, just the whole pot. Just take it off the top, slide it in the oven. No big deal.
Yep, no big deal. So if you have your stainless steel, you can put stainless steel in the oven. Make sure it has a good gauge on it. Cast iron, you can do the same way. Right. Dutch oven. But the curry chicken turned out great. I had Levi here. He tasted. I had Tiffany here. She enjoyed it. So we do have a video coming soon with that. And next thing, maybe we'll make something else, cook something else. Maybe we'll do some type of other Caribbean dish. You know what, Levi? How about you tell me something from New Mexico that you guys cook, and we could do a dish from, as long as it's not stale crackers and milk.
Yeah, Easter egg for the TikTok followers. Anyways, no, there's an amazing. It can either go chicken or turkey.
Okay.
Enchilada recipe that my mom has.
Oh yeah,
I've told you about this before.
Yeah.
So I will try to get that recipe from one of my sisters.
Okay.
And then it's just gonna be a trip to the store. We'll get all the stuff. We'll put it together. I think it takes a couple hours to cook.
Okay, now use green hatch. Use the green chili.
The hatch green chili peppers.
Hatch green chili.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. You have to use the hatch green chili peppers. I think HEB carries the Hutch.
Yes, they do.
Peppers.
I think they have a whole month here for you guys. I think that's actually coming up.
Yeah, because it would be about harvesting season for those.
Yeah. So what we'll do when that month come up, we'll do some enchiladas with the hatch green chili.
Yeah, and these aren't going to look like enchiladas like you've ever seen. It's more of like a lasagna.
Lasagna,
but
okay,
it's called enchilada. You just do layers upon layers upon layers, and then you cut it into squares and serve it. It looks like a lasagna, but we call it our family enchilada recipe.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we could definitely do that, man. And but like I said, man, we talked about crawfish. We talked about some curry. Real quick, when you're doing your curry, make sure you use coconut milk. That's just what it calls for, and you should always use coconut milk inside your curry. It brings out the flavor. And curry is not just known for in the Caribbean. There's hundreds of different types of curries. Yeah. There's the Indian curry, and there's the Caribbean curry, and they got red curry, they got green curry.
I went to a Filipino restaurant recently, and they served me curry. It was really good. It was different. It was different from any curry I've ever had.
Yep, curry.
But it still had the same sauce, the same consistency. It had a lot of the same seasonings. It was just like a beef curry. It was like a roast beef curry.
Oh, nice. So yeah, definitely, folks, check out the curry recipe. I'm going to post that with this episode. I'm not going to tell you my secret ingredient. No, I'll tell you my secret ingredient when I post it. It's simple. It's not the true, authentic way of the chicken curry, but it was quite tasty.
Oh, it was really, really good. And I can't possibly put a date on when I'm going to get that video put together and put out,
no
but we'll
big
get
deal.
it out. We'll get a video out, something for the Patreon, but then also I might just put together like a little trailer of it and put it out on our normal socials.
That'll work. So with that being said, real quick, we went over your crawfish. We found out some interesting things about me and Levi, and we talked about the crawfish. Next week, we don't know what we're going to talk about, but we're going to definitely make sure. I'm going to make sure, and I'm going to be dedicated to make sure that I try to put something out at least 3 days before on social media, so you guys kind of know what we're going to talk about. And real quick before we go, hey, what's up with Puff Daddy?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know nothing about Puff Daddy.
Check us out Inside the Lunchbox on all social media sites. Inside the Lunchbox on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere on all platforms. Once again, we're out. Let's go.